expect a lot from a battery, so here's a few pointers to get the best from them. A battery is basically a storage tank for electricity. They contain lead plates immersed in a fluid which is known as the electrolyte. This is a mixture of sulfuric acid and distilled water. Heed the advice given on the warning labels. Often these are in pictogram form. The battery gives off hydrogen gas when it's being charged. This is explosive, so no sparks or naked flames anywhere near the battery. And don't forget, a short circuit will cause sparks. The battery on this Ford 4630 is fairly accessible and can be swung outwards for ease of maintenance. Keep the top of the battery clean and dry. If you don't, the battery can lose charge slowly over time. Just going to check battery voltage, 11 volts. If I keep one voltmeter lead connected to the terminal and pop the other one onto the top of the battery case, I can measure the electricity flowing across the top of the battery case. Here it's about 1.5 volts, that's on the lower scale here. And that's because dirt attracts moisture, moisture conducts electricity. Now if we clean the case off really thoroughly and repeat the exercise, you can see we've virtually got no electricity flowing across the battery case now. That's why the battery should be kept clean and dry. Check the electrolyte level on a regular basis, say once a week or so. If it's low, then top it up with distilled water until the level is about 1/4 inch or 6 mil above the top of the lead plates. This battery has a translucent casing, so you can see the electrolyte level through the case. Each battery cell is 2 volts, and you can see the cell wall very clearly on this jump battery. Make sure the cable clamps are tight and secure, making a good connection. Here we can see some corrosion starting to build up around one of the terminal clamps. To disconnect the battery cables, remember the golden rule: earth off first and on last. If you're unsure which is which, follow the cable down, and the one going to the chassis is the earth. The one going to the solenoid on the starter motor is the line. So earth comes off first, and tuck it well away so it can't touch any other terminals. Then, with the earth disconnected, it is safe to disconnect the live terminal. Never pop spanners on the top of the battery for storage. It's a short circuit waiting to happen. Using suitable eye protection, the corroded terminal can be cleaned off with a wire brush. Any corrosion on the battery cable terminal clamp can be easily removed just by pouring boiling water over the terminal, and the corrosion will slowly seem to melt away. Here the cables are long enough so they can be held away from the engine, and the water can simply be collected in a container. There, all traces of corrosion been removed from the battery terminal clamp. When reconnecting the battery cables to the battery, remember that golden rule: earth off first and on last. So connect the live terminal first, followed by the earth. On the older tractors it's a 1/4 inch Whitworth spanner. On the more modern ones it could well be a metric. So always check you got the right spanner. Once the clamps have been tightened, it is now the time perhaps to smear a little bit of petroleum jelly or something equivalent on the battery terminal area. The petroleum jelly is actually an insulator, so this is why you only do it once the terminals have been reconnected. Make sure battery clamp is fitted to keep the battery secure. If it's missing, the battery can easily get damaged. Don't forget the fan belt. It should have the correct tension. For a V-belt, that's about 1/2 inch or 13mm deflection between two pulleys on the longest run. Alternatively, see if you can twist the belt 180 degrees, that's inside out. While you're twisting it inside out, have a look at the inside surface. Very often this is where the belt starts to break up. If you follow these tips, hopefully your battery will have a long and trouble-free life.